Here we go. Yes.
Sounds going, Tim.
Yes.
Call to order the meeting of the Till Northfield Fire and EMS Fire Station Building Committee to order at 5:32 on September 2nd. Those present: Dennis, Tim, Chief, Matt, Kevin, Lisa, Paul. No Nate, no Derek. And from the public, Deputy Chief Robinson. So we'll start with the minutes of 8:25. Has everyone read the minutes? Make a motion, we accept the minutes of 8:25 as written.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Lauren. I would like to comment before we dig into tonight's work. Maybe I guess I just assumed everybody knew what I was talking about, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that you probably didn't. And that's when we're talking about the minutia of the design, the conversations with the architect about things like paper towel racks and mirrors and stuff like that. Those were all questions that they brought up. They wanted answers to in order to get guidance for costing. So I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that all of those questions are being given by them. So for tonight's meeting, what I was hoping to do was talk about public outreach. But before we do that, we've got some new plans. So I'll open the floor to discussion about the new Park Street plans.
Are we going to have a discussion about roof pitches?
That's
what
the
he's talking
difference.
I didn't know if you're talking about the site plans or the.
Okay,
Elevation.
I'm specifically talking about you call these elevations?
Building elevations.
Okay, the building elevations. See, I'm 63 and I'm still learning. Any comments on that?
I was just wondering how many acres that roof was now with 612.
Yeah, it's a total waste of space. If you're gonna put a big thing up in the roof there, you might as well put a second floor on. Because you got enough space up there to put a second floor. Kind of defeats our goal of keeping it small. I think it looks terrible.
I don't like the way it looks, right?
I think the first one they proposed, if you matched, you might have to change the roof pitch on the living quarters. You could make you could go back to the pitch that they originally proposed.
This was a 3-pitch.
But there's no reason it can't go higher than they had a shallow pitch because they were trying to.
They did they did show a 4-pitch at one point or something, a 4.5 pitch that went somewhat above the parapet roof.
Right. I liked that one, but I wasn't here for that one. You guys didn't.
Well, I guess the discussion we had was about the winter and roof pitches and runoff and stuff like that.
Now that we see this here, I think the pines would be shaded for the bulk of the day.
It's just a huge area of unused truss space. It makes, I don't know if I can find the old one. The first one they came up with on their own, right?
Yes.
That was the one that, out of all of these, seen the most. It was this one, right? Is that the one?
There was another one that was shed roof on, that has valleys in it. There was another one that had no valleys in it.
Yeah,
This one has no value.
That's correct, yeah, that's the one.
But that's a
That's-
very shallow
That's
pitch.
right.
Extremely
That's
shallow.
the very shallow.
I think they said that was 3, didn't they?
Yes. Well, I guess you gotta pick your poison, valleys or pitch.
I say valleys. And here you're building, it's almost as tall as the tower, the hose tower.
Almost, yep.
It just kind of looks silly.
And they're really, in the email that they sent today, they're really kind of pushing for us to make a decision on the roof pitches because
Right.
they're kind of stuck on,
Oh, all kinds of
yeah,
quantities, you can't price it out until we make a decision.
and they thought we made a decision to go with 6 pitch on Park Street. And then I asked them, well, what's the pitch on Sanborn Road? And they said 3.5. I said,
So
I'm guessing
We haven't seen a Sanborn Road.
they have not sent anything like this for Sanborn Road. They did send updated PDF drawing of the whole set of plans, but it doesn't show it like this. And I got it so late that my computer's having problems like flattening it out or whatever. It says it's flat. It still says flattening when I left the office. I thought I could get it to print, but it wouldn't. It takes a while for it to take it from their stuff and turn it into our stuff. I guess. It gets there, it just
I
takes.
mean, heck, we might as well put a dormer on that. Couple dormers, we put a couple bedrooms up there, another.
It's a whole upstairs.
Right.
It's a
Throw an
whole
elevator
upstairs.
in, a couple stairs.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Plenty of storage for something.
It's the same thing. It looks the same.
That's today.
This is today. Well, this is the email, right?
That's the,
This is today.
they sent another email today, but again, I couldn't download the plans yet. It wouldn't work.
I just went back to the.
But I was able to download the
I
site
just printed them all
plans,
together.
which were in a separate meeting.
Well, if you're gonna tell us that they need a decision by tonight, and you can't provide us with the information, how can we make a decision?
Well, I can provide you with everything but a visual.
You're saying they sent you something?
In this email had attachments that showed
It was like 15, that one Park Street drawing.
Oh, they didn't PDF it. Well, sometimes you have the
They
whole
do.
size.
It is PDF, but
Still a huge size, yeah. Yeah.
it's big. Let me see if I can open it on my phone.
Is that parking area still, looks like it's made of pavers?
Permeable, something permeable. They don't want to get away from that. Although I told them to look at gravel to see if that was in, but that's civil engineering and they haven't got back to us on that. We do have a meeting. We do have a meeting tomorrow morning with Paul, right? It's tomorrow at 9:30.
9:30.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be able to enlighten us a little bit on something with that. I'm going to forward you the email he sent me today, and you can open up the PDFs on your phone, because it does open up on your phone. Let's see, forward. Include 2021 building committee. Forward. All right, I forwarded, I don't know how long it's gonna take to get to your phone, but everybody can look at it then. The original costs for the roof were based on the lower pitched roofs. And they did share those costs with us. I don't have them with me right now because I just don't have them with me right now.
Does this type of roof cost less than having that gigantic truss to give us 30 some odd feet in there?
I'll
I think,
bet it does, because this has to span the whole, of course, this one was too, right?
I think they're probably similar.
This one was what, a 3-pitch?
Yes.
Really shallow floor.
Was the Sanborn Road
3-pitch. 3,
with
yep. It's still,
two different ridge lines? Right.
it's 2 different ridge lines, both of them at 3 or 3.5, I think he said.
What's the police department?
Good question, I don't know.
I bet the police department's more than 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I
gotta be.
guarantee it. Looking at that, I'm just looking at the roof on there. The building's a lot narrower.
So the only reason this is so tough, we told them a steeper roof, but we weren't allowing valleys, right?
Yeah, we were eliminating that.
Yep.
I think it's a lot of truss that's not necessary. And if you're gonna spend that money on the truss, you make them king trusses, and you do have an attic, but then you'll have to put in an elevator. It's the old,
Not if you leave it unfinished. But I don't think that's where we want to go.
let's see, it's looking, because I'm not on Wi-Fi. There it is.
Is the flat roof more expensive to build than the pitched roof?
It's cheaper.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is the flat roof less expensive to build than the pitched roof?
Yeah, I was gonna throw that out, but
I mean, what if you did a
Lisa.
flat roof over the whole
Extended
building?
a flat roof, or at least a flat over the main.
Bigger area.
It's bigger.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, you've got walls under it, so it's not like you need very big spans. It is,
it's
aesthetically.
an idea aesthetically. But the other thing you can do, but you guys don't want the valleys, is you make all the peaks the same, and you draw a straight line and make sure it's above the other building. You can go back to their original, and it works. But you have valleys that, for some reason, you guys don't like valleys.
It's history.
Yeah, but if I think they made an attempt of actually, well, okay, you're worried about valleys leaking, right?
Yes.
Right. And the collecting
With
those.
technology today, I don't know, everybody uses the Grace Water Shield. I don't know where it would leak to. But I don't know. I have a valley, one valley in my house that doesn't leak. But then again, I did I did the Grace.
My house had valleys in it, but the attic was unheated and was actually it's same temperature and everything else, so it never leaks.
I mean, designed properly, it shouldn't leak.
Kevin's thinking
It's gotta be built to design though, you design it all you want, if you don't build it that way. Doesn't make any difference how they're designed.
You're saying most roofers don't build it properly? I guess it depends on who builds it. So, but we can guess that on every item.
So
Every item in this project.
yeah, you could. So like, for example, when I was building my house, or when the last fire station I built had valleys in it. It was on site to make sure during that process that they did use the ice and water shield. In fact, we doubled it up, so there was less of a chance of anything. Where in the original specs, it called for one row of 3 feet. We doubled it up to 6 feet, and in the valleys, it was even more so.
But you're worried about collecting snow too, right?
Yeah, so you gotta look at the way the sun's gonna come through, where it's gonna melt, where it won't melt. Or it'll take longer to melt, I should say. Looking at Park Street, the way it's designed, the sun should hit most of it. The way the sun goes around that building.
I mean, looking at this, I'd be inclined to go back to the shallow roof. But there's where you have more of a chance of roof leakage than anything with a 3-on-12 asphalt shingle. The second year shingles get weathered. Yeah.
Steep for the pitch, how long they last.
Whereas this with their original design that had the steeper slope, your shingles work better.
You can also tighten up the exposure that the shingles have, rather than, a 5-inch exposure, you can do a 4-inch exposure.
So, if I'm reading Lisa correctly, she's stating that she's fine with that.
Or a variation of that.
And I'm no builder, but someone here is. So
Well-
Kevin, what's your thought on that with the steeper pitch?
Here I sit saying I don't want any valleys, but I got 6 of them.
If you compare.
But they're on a 12 pitch too, they're not.
I don't think that's a 12, I think that's the 6 pitch.
This is 3, isn't it?
This is
No.
3.
No, that is 3
This
there.
is 3.
Yeah, that 3 to me, I wouldn't do a 3, but this is,
This must be,
Those are probably about 6 right there.
this isn't 6.
I'd have to.
How can that be 6 if this is 6?
Because
it's not.
because it doesn't go from one side all the way to the other.
We don't.
It has more ridges in it. That only has 1 ridge. This has multiple ridges. Well, that's got 3 ridges, but this has more.
So this is all 6, right? This new drawing.
Yes.
So does this peak here look like that peak there?
It is that piece.
Yeah, but this we know is a 6.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Do you think those are 6s?
What's the date?
819.
So that's got the gable end at the front.
Right. Right, and see, the peak is just a little bit above the,
Right.
so he's got the elevation from the old one.
That's with the values.
Now, they could raise this a
That's-
little bit just so
That's the one
that
we're
this
looking
peak,
at.
that corner, you were worried about water in that corner near the doors, right? That was the concern. Now, the interesting comment that you made about a flat roof. I don't know.
You say flat roof, but it's not, it's really pitched.
Pitch, but it's just very,
It's
very shallow.
Yeah, it's a shallow pitch.
I mean, they're,
And they'll put a parapet wall up to hide the pitch, like what they did on the apparatus.
and I assume it's all shedding, well, must have drains, so, it's not all shedding off to the back, is it?
I would let them figure that out.
I would too, but I'm sure that they.
I'm sure they'll manage it. They
Yes.
gotta manage it now.
Right. I mean, if you have water in that corner, you put something to collect it and go into a drain, right? The drains that they just showed us, and
Yes.
they're gonna design drainage.
I just think that's a lot of freaking, that's 12 is just, phew. I think in one, it looks hideous, and it's just a lot of acreage up there when it's on. Those trusses are gonna, I'm sure they're not gonna be cheap.
No, they're huge.
3 pieces.
I was gonna say, they're not even going one piece.
Yeah,
Probably 3 pieces.
You would, you guys transport those sons of guns.
yeah, you'd have a middle piece and 2 end pieces.
Yeah, they have to support them on interior walls. I'm inclined to like their first proposal.
With the, that's this one,
That's this
Yeah.
one, right, but this is a shallower roof than that, right?
No, I think this.
right?
Or it's just the way it looks.
It's the shading, I think.
Yeah,
So
'cause it's really
what
neat.
pitch is this then? This is 6 pitch though? We don't know.
I don't think
it's, I don't know, but I think it's closer to 6 than 3.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere in
Yeah.
the middle.
Yeah.
Initially, we didn't like that because they didn't have this peak there, so that roof line was shedding right into that.
I don't
So
think-
they put that on.
I don't think that's 6 pitch,
Because
because when you look at this drawing,
So this
Is
was
that
the
six
next
pitch?
with the new 6 pitch roof,
with the
Yeah.
three
you see where these,
and
The
These
top
are-
point,
we
they're,
don't want a three pitch.
See
they're
what-
above the
Six
roof,
pitch.
right? Of the other
And
building.
that's what the
they look
six
like they're as
pitch
high
looks
as
like.
the
That would be-
Parapet.
flat roof.
Right.
But when you look here and you see the way that that peak runs into this one,
So
this
that
peak's
will progress.
obviously higher
Now
than that
it
peak,
looks like we're gonna
and way higher than those peaks. So,
So, I like this part, they can do that same shape. If you bring this peak, you might even change the slope of this roof and come up to here.
would the two roofs not
end up-
then be the same slope?
No, they wouldn't, because this width of the building is shallower, is less than this width of this wing.
Okay.
So,
The wings
but,
aren't the same size?
you
No.
know,
And you've changed the peak direction, Paul, in that original one. The peak
So,
goes the other way.
so
I'll
if you
make-
bring,
yeah, I
you
see what
just
you're
change
saying,
the
yeah.
slope, right,
Yeah.
this one, and come up,
So in other words,
and then you
We turn
match
the
the
peak.
peak
Right.
Yeah.
of that one, they all have the same peak, but you made that comment
a
at
lot
one
more
time.
attractive.
your peak of your roof is the
Cause
same.
like you say, that's a lot of roof.
Here, these are
Here's-
lower than this.
There's 10 feet difference in those width of
Right.
those two
Right.
roofs.
So if you bring, what I'm trying to do is match the peak of this roof to the peak of this roof. And then that by default will be the peak of this roof. So they'll all be the same height. And then,
But each one will have a different slope then.
Yes, they would.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. But they're the architects, I'm not an architect, I will not, you know what I mean? But
The other thing we could do is just let them design it and build it the way they think is the best way to do it.
Which, that was their first one was, I was saying, it seemed to look the best, but you said that it was a very shallow, it was only a 3 pitch.
The first one, my complaint with the first one is the valleys,
Not the pitch,
not
so
the
we don't
pitch
really
so
know
much.
what
We don't
pitch
know
they
what
were
the pitch
doing.
is.
Right.
No, my thought is, I like what we were trying to do with eliminating the valleys, but I don't like the result. So I guess I would default back to what they designed.
Right,
They were trying to
make it work.
Fix something that,
Because architects, they have an eye for things on how it's gonna look. They probably said, that's going terrible, but we'll do it anyway, because the
They
building
did.
committee told us.
On the
I'm
phone.
sure
Right, so they already
exactly
knew,
what
they already knew, so we
Yeah.
made them, because we don't have the vision that
They
they
said,
have.
we're gonna show you.
We're gonna show you, and of
You
course,
want
you
what
know,
a turd looks like?
every
Here
time
you
we
go.
ask them to do something, but that's okay. I mean, at least they reacted, but I'm inclined to let them do their job.
And it's probably cheaper.
So, Dennis,
Yeah, I'm inclined to go with that too. That's just,
Tim,
yeah, the original design,
Matt,
original.
Kevin,
He doesn't like it, but we can't think
Yeah.
he's trying to find something better. I feel that frustration.
I'm inclined to let them do their job, listening to our concerns. So they may look at their valleys and their pitches and make something better than what they first proposed, but certainly not this. They have an eye for it. So
Well, and have we expressed our concern about that north corner and
the drainage
Drainage
in the
issue
north.
in that.
No, we haven't, but,
But they have a
in our
drainage.
discussion tomorrow, I can bring that up.
I mean, you know, that was one of my concerns about the valley roof all running down into that corner, which is the north corner. I mean, this is facing northeast, and that's facing northwest.
which corner?
This right here.
Gotcha.
corner near the
Yep,
garage
that's what I
doors.
thought I wanted to make
I mean, if the plan is to park an ambulance in there, which some of the drawings have an ambulance
It
there,
is,
that's
where
gonna
we
be
go.
the most used in and out vehicle on the building.
Well, they're gonna have to catch the drainage from the roof
Just
and
just
put
wrote it
it,
down.
put it into some drainage system, that's all. Or come up with a different roof plan, understanding our concerns. That's our concern, was that.
Right, and you know, having, you know,
I-
is the line up there such that the wind will blow snow into that corner all the time and, you know, it's just,
Well, you never know how snow's gonna pile up until you have the house built, because you don't know where the eddies are or the way
Right,
the
how-
wind does and stuff like that. It could be totally bare all the time because of the way the eddies of the wind coming around the building, but it could be 6 feet
It could
high.
be full all the time
Yeah.
too, and you could get the drain go full right down, walk in one big.
Kevin, what are you thinking? I know you do this a lot,
I don't,
and
I mean, I know that's a lot of roof, but it'll work.
And heck, we could be like the weather vane and put a big lobster up there or a fire truck.
It's not a pirate ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's almost enough
Yep.
right there to put that
a zip line from there to there.
You go first though.
So much room.
I'll watch. You know, you should do the whole thing flat, it's going like a factory. Look worse than a school.
You should, make it flat, and it'll look like a real commercial building, so.
Anyway. Yeah, it's nice to have something good to look at, but if you end up with something that don't look so good, that works fantastic.
I have a thought, it just popped in my head just now. What if you keep it like the 6-inch pitch to here, and then once you get to here, it's flat going back, so from the front of the building, it's aesthetically pleasing, but then it's flat going backwards, and you don't see it from the street so much. I don't know,
That's sort of what I was saying, kind of just right after the peak, it just goes flat.
yeah,
But,
well, not so flat, but, you know, pitched.
It's gonna have some pitch to it.
But I don't know if that's complicating it or making it worse or making it better, I don't know.
yeah, or like a hip, but it's sort of like what a hip roof would do.
Kind of.
Right, but aren't the prevailing winds from the west?
It'd be like a
It is,
Northwest.
modified.
What's that?
it is from my
Modified
house.
salt walks, yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
and I believe the back of that building right there is the west, right?
sure is.
Right, so if you put a peak there and flat here, that peak's gonna catch everything coming from the west.
Yeah.
So you'll probably be able to get up on the peak and go sliding down on the back of the roof when you get the snow all built up there.
You're probably right.
Then it'll drift over the door as you walk up.
That's, again, that's where I kind of like lean back on, let the architects figure it out.
If you look at this, it looks like we have an upstairs, and we do.
Empty
Well, if you
upstairs.
built box trusses up there, you could have it, you could really,
You could.
yeah.
You guys can build a ropes course up there for yourself.
Yeah.
Gotta have an elevator.
Oh, ropes course. That's some poles that climb up and they do the little,
I suppose if you have access to the roof.
what was that place up there, something monkey or?
An SCBA maze.
So,
Look at that, you just sold the building to Kevin now with that.
We have one in the backyard already.
First time his shaking his head. Yes.
do you have any, ideas, Kevin, on how you can?
I don't know how you, I don't know how you make it look like something and make it work. You give in looks, you gain in function. The most function is, seems like it's the worst to look at.
Are we totally against looking at a hip style roof? I'm thinking that would bring it down. Yeah, and, you know, with the front entrance, I don't know, you could probably have it, well, you don't want to do too many dormers because then you get the, but the dormer would actually be in the front. The valley would come to the front of the building, not the side in front of the bay. If you know, because you're gonna have how, let me see, how wide is that right there? Did they give us, you know, just the building from like,
When you look at this, you won't
from
see
here
that
to, from
line.
here to here, from the side of from the side of the apparatus bay to where the outcrop is going to be there, look. How much, I don't even see how much that is. So you're looking at,
Did you bring your magnifying glass?
no, I didn't, so
Which
that's,
dimension are you looking for
we
now?
look on, just right here. Where this roof line that we're in question, that we're increasing, right here, so if you dormed it,
95 feet, plus or minus the thickness.
so that's
of the
almost
wall.
square, no, that's not square, it's
No,
it's
but
a
then
rectangle.
But then you need to take that part off.
You take what?
You're looking for the dimension for here.
Right,
Just this part.
right here.
Yeah.
From one to this roof line here, because Lisa had brought it up the
95
last
less
meeting about
38.
hip, you know? And that would, 42.
I mean,
So
it
54.
doesn't really look that bad unless you're looking straight at it. And you won't see, this line that you see, there
That's
is
not
no
gonna-
line.
that
There's
line's
no
not
line.
there.
That line is not there. It's one slope.
One plane.
Right.
Yeah,
So you wouldn't have this line here. So when you look at it,
So, tell me again why the wings are different widths and why they're wings and not.
like filled in the box, because we're eliminating space. We're eliminating spaces, you know, making it smaller. And you have to have windows into certain areas, and that allows you
Windows
to-
and doors.
windows and doors into certain areas, and that allows you to do that. It's like building a school. Why do they have wings instead of a big box? It's because they have to have windows and doors.
To escape from, is that the principle?
Part of
Nobody
it,
ever
yeah.
seems to be able to escape.
Well, look at the
It's
police
amazing.
station. Police station's built with basically two wings
Yeah.
instead of one big box. The functionality of it is better that way.
You could definitely hip the wings. That looks like they gave me a wall today. I don't know,
Yes.
is this a hip?
You could hit the wings, but that isn't where the problem is.
it's the
Would
values.
take away from some of the mass looking at it from the front, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, not a lot.
No, it's just lowers.
And really, the only valley that's problematic, if I'm not mistaken, is just between, it's just that little short space between the apparatus bay, that side. And it's the only thing really having anybody up with it.
And then again, that side of the building is gonna catch the morning sun. The other side of the building will get the afternoon sun when the sun goes down.
But yeah. Well, Lisa, I think they know our concerns. It may not, whatever they come back with may not be exactly this.
Right, let them look at the roof line a little bit. But if you tell them no hip, no valleys, then we've tied their hands.
Well, we unanimously approved the floor plan. I'd like to do the same with the elevations. So with that being said, and the fact that we have a meeting tomorrow morning with them, what do you think the resolution is to get unanimous support for the elevation?
Is this one here, when they were told to do what they do, or they didn't ask us what we thought?
That was good first.
That was their first.
So this is what they do. Let them do what they do, that's what you get.
Yes.
And they're trying to give it some architectural appeal. Having this face. And
Well, you know the architects, they want it to look pretty, they don't
Well,
want
they
it,
should.
they don't want it to look like a monolith, and I don't
Right.
think we do either.
we don't either.
It does, it looks like hell. That roof looks like hell, I'm sorry. You can't even get the guy that paints flags on roofs to make that look pretty.
See, I'm just thinking if they made these peaks all the same height, they increase the slope, you still have a valley, but it's a
If
pitch
you drag this peak
up to that
to
one.
that,
Right
this
to
pitch is
here.
gonna be steep as steep gets.
No, this is it right here. Cause look at their line, here's the top of the parapet, and they're putting the peak. In this plan, their latest one, the peak is up higher, like we asked them to. It's just that they continued the roof line up. If you make this peak up to the parapet, the pitch gets higher, right? On this wing, it's a different pitch, but I don't know that anybody's gonna critique it, cause this is narrower than this. Then when your roof line on that it's the same height as the parapet. Now, if it's the same height as the parapet, you're doing the same thing that they were doing. It's just all peaks are the same height.
All four peaks.
Yep. One elevation right around the top of the parapet, which they spelled wrong.
They spelled mezzanine wrong too, but.
I'd be concerned about the different pitches on the different sections of roof.
Well, they're all gonna line.
You're lining the
line.
peaks up, but then the roof slopes are gonna be different.
What, I don't
It's
think
easier
you'll
to
see it.
build. It's easier to build.
Well, the design, the CAD thing and send it to the truss factory, they don't care.
They don't,
They don't care what
this
it-
truss is different than this truss no matter what, because of the length.
Right.
So you got a set of trusses here, you got a set of trusses here, and then you have a set of trusses that are all the same in the main part of the building, without
But you
widths.
don't think visually you'll notice that those roofs are different pitches
It's gonna look,
when you're driving by?
That's a pretty extreme.
well, they're already have to, oh, you're saying they kept the same pitch.
They kept the same pitch.
Well, they can't, it doesn't work if that, you're saying this is lower than.
Yeah.
So the ridge is lower.
You can see there.
Oh, okay.
The ridge is
Yeah.
lower
Yeah.
on the back side of the building than it is on the front side of the
But
building.
not by much, you're looking at a couple of feet. But even if they do that, it doesn't, I guess my point is this big thing. They can do this and they can make it look so the front of the building looks exactly like you see it in this one, except you'll just see this. Well, no, we're changing it. Forget it. Let them do their job. How's that? I can't draw it, but. You could still have it with this slope like that in the front. And then you'd have, this triangle would be up here. Up in the, how do I draw it? You'd have a flat right there, that's your pitch. I'm using their latest thing, and then they would have, this would have to come down like that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. How would it work? It would let them do their job. How's that?
I think there's like 7 or 8 architects sitting in here right now.
Yeah, that's like, it's not what I do every day, or none of any of us do every day, so I would say that they know what works best. They've heard our concerns, come up with something.
You said you have a Zoom or Teams meeting with them?
Tomorrow morning,
9:30.
9:30.
So it's not like what we're saying here won't be expressed.
No, I have notes right now.
Are we in agreement that we'll
I
ask?
don't know what else you can do.
You don't know
I
what?
don't know what else you can do. You gotta,
You pick the least worst solution.
Is it though? Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're sacrificing functionality for aesthetics. There's probably some cost with those choices.
Speaking of cost, did I read that email right? 38 grand to metal roof that last
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
How are they smoking? How wide is that building?
It's like, what was it, 20 by 20? Off the top of my head, it's like 20 by 20.
400 square feet.
Yeah.
And it's got a 6 roof on it?
I don't know what picture is on it, doesn't matter.
Let's tell Casey to put in a bid on that, baby.
$38,000. So that makes me.
I'm gonna come down with my own brake and,
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder how high they are on their other roofing.
well, think about, they gotta bring all the equipment, they gotta bring the people to build this little doghouse of a roof, so if you valued it by square foot, it would be enormous. But they're just covering their costs, and that's why, we're gonna go with asphalt, right? So they can,
But I think,
Get
I
someone
think
else
Kevin's
to
point
pay
is,
their,
well, I mean, the cost to do the 2-foot rain
Ice
thing
storm, yeah.
along the edge was, that seemed
It-
a huge amount of
that
money.
was, the rain edge, it's actually 4 feet by 2 feet, 4 feet high. Doing just the edges, the eaves, cost just half as much it would do the whole freaking roof. Sorry.
That's fine.
It's a
You
specialty
need to
material.
say that more often.
It's a specialty material.
And it's not worth it.
No.
If you're gonna do that, then you should just do the whole roof and forget about it. You don't have to re-roof that thing for 75, 100 years.
Do you want any more comment about the
Yes.
Park Street
So,
location?
yes, for tomorrow's meeting, what I'd like to do is address each of the drawings that they sent us today, which are the two, what are these called?
Site
Those are
plans.
site plans.
Site plans. So I didn't see any difference on this to the last one, other than the outlines of the retention ponds and the running of the storm drains underground on either one of them.
Yes, and in the email, he said they're constantly updating these, but this is what they have right now. Updated drawings of both parks, where you will see plans with the 6, and I have attached copies. I've also attached copies of updated site plans. Site plans will continue to be updated as we move forward. However, I wanted to share with you an updated with the ones, with what we have now.
So my comment, they haven't responded yet. When I said we have all this extra fill, right? If you shifted the parking lot east, instead of building a retaining wall, you can slope,
I
have
think
slope.
They can't, they need
can't.
that retaining, they
They do
need the
need the
retaining
retaining
space, yeah, not the retaining wall, they need the retaining pond.
No,
And if we
I'm
shift
no.
it east, we
I,
can't,
I thought
I'm talking about,
we agreed
Oh.
that this parking lot was unnecessary.
I don't remember that vote, I know we discussed something.
We
like that.
discussed about permeation through gravel versus having it paved or having it paved with the permeable concrete. Right, so at the end of the day, there's no need for that parking space. That whole parking lot is,
I would think you could
Wow.
still have a gravel thing that's not really. But my point was, you're building a retaining wall, which costs money, against the building, so that you can have steps to come up to your courtyard and all of that. Whereas if you just have a slope, a mowable slope, you have grass down to a parking lot that may not be the same size, but you've shifted. I'm just looking for cost savings. If you don't need that many spaces, you don't need that retaining wall. And that was one of the comments, but their civil engineer was away. Remember, that was one of my, you sent the email to them and they responded and said, we'll look at it.
This is what they said about Park Street. Park Street will need ground improvements for the foundation. The structural engineer has recommended rammed aggregate piers. These will be used to densify the soil and eliminate the liquefaction potential issue.
What did he call it again? Grand?
Rammed, R-A-M-M,
rammed.
aggregate piers. Is that telephone poles? I don't know what an
No,
aggregate.
I think
That's
what
concrete
it's
pier.
well, rammed aggregate, I'm guessing they're gonna consolidate it.
Like they did when they built Walgreens down there.
That's telephone.
Those were piles.
Those were
Yeah,
piles,
piles,
yeah.
but
Pile.
same
800
concept.
and
Right.
some.
So
Hasn't
If-
moved.
if we have enough parking spaces between the other areas, why couldn't we go with just doing a gravel area like they did at the Tilton PD? Because you wouldn't normally be using it.
I think you could probably do that outside the scope of this building. It would have to be an afterthought.
Right.
Because if they build it, they have to, even with the permeable surface, they're concerned that we have to maintain it, even if we use a gravel surface.
It has to meet DES guidelines for drainage, and it will be considered probably
Right.
impermeable, and then you're gonna have more water going into your basin, but I mean, you could leave it grass, and, I mean, everybody's always pulled up on, on the pines, and that became, right?
Yeah, but not
But-
during the winter time when
Right.
we don't plow it.
But if you don't need it,
Well, if,
I wouldn't say you won't need it.
You don't
just,
need it.
You don't need it daily.
right,
Right.
I mean, if you cut the size of it, then they have less runoff, I guess I would have to say that.
well, there's no runoff where the permeable parking
Right,
spot
but
is.
it's pricey. Way
Right.
pricier than a gravel parking lot.
Yeah, way more.
Somebody has to explain to me, I'm sorry, somebody has to explain to me why we need that as a parking area, period.
For when there are meetings or classes where we have more than the on-duty staff there,
Okay,
there needs to be places to park. If, especially during the day, if the DPW's in operation. If the DPW's not in operation, we
Where do
always
you-
park over there.
when you have training at Center Street, where do your guys park?
We don't have training at Center Street.
Perfect. Why do you need to have training here? Just so that you can reciprocate?
Well, that's one of the reasons, but it's not every reason. It's,
I don't think it's reason enough to put in a parking lot that's gonna get used once a month, maybe, for training.
What about Sanborn Road, can it be done there?
we have to fill the
So
meeting
training
rooms, the meeting training room is at Park Street.
It's in this building.
Yes, because our training facility is there, so it makes sense to have those two together.
And there is no problem using DPW for parking. Period. It, when you have a snowstorm, they need that space. We're not gonna have meetings when we have a snowstorm. I've been assured by Northfield Selectman, that there's no problem using that for occasional meetings and parking.
Until it is though.
That's only good,
Well,
That's only as good
Till
as
the
the
end of
select.
his
That's,
term.
that's when you build something outside.
you know, so
This
maybe
costs
then you do is just wipe that off this plan. And when a building's built, you go in there and you
That's what the Tilton PD did.
go at it after the fact.
Yeah, the
Clean it
after.
up, it's not here, we're not gonna do that, can it, and someday down the road, oh look, there's a back on.
Or park on the grass, right?
You can do that right, every time a month, but yeah.
Well, if the town of
We
Hopewell
have-
can use it in the summertime too for the pines.
Well, that's the thing.
You know what, it could be a town of Hopewell and fire district
Collaboration.
collaboration, put a gravel parking lot
A
in
little
there.
access road goes right down there.
Yeah, I would suggest not doing it as part of this project.
Just dump it,
And-
forget it, it's causing too much grief, it ain't worth it.
It's a lot of money.
Wipe it out.
It's a lot of money.
That's twice I've agreed with you.
And that's,
Yeah.
and that's where I was saying, let's have, we could have a small.
See a
have a
pattern
small-
here.
But that wipes away all the question of permeable, impermeable, it just ain't there.
Retention pond size,
It
all
ain't
that.
there.
Right.
It takes care of so much. What'd you say, minutia? So much.
It's actually closer to manure, not minutia.
And
Oh, look, it looks like they're already taking your concerns for drainage.
I
There's a
see the
drain
dash
goes
line
right to
there
the,
from
right
that
to the
corner,
corner of the
yeah.
building.
right,
Well, I'll still bring that up tomorrow in that meeting.
yeah, it shows the storm drains in the parking lot as well as the collection points.
So that shows you how it's sloped.
Yeah, this may have been this, we're still gonna get it written by there. Yeah.
Okay. So, we have, the two big issues for tomorrow are reverting back to something like this and eliminating the gravel parking lot. Is there anything else that you guys have concerns about?
Not at Park Street, but I did have one question up at Sanborn Road, what's the pitch on the roof of
3.5 as designed, but in our email today, I said, send me, if we're stuck on 6-inch pitch, I don't think 3.5-inch pitch at Sanborn Road is gonna fly either. So I said, probably gonna discuss a 6-inch pitch tonight on Sanborn Road. But
Do we have elevations?
we do,
So that must be what
Send
both
us-
those plans are, cause one's a
Yes.
different peaked roof than the other.
yes, yes.
that? Oh, they're different.
The
This
design
The
doesn't
second
really
one's-
change, they just change the pitch.
Well, it doesn't look like they ran the peak all the way over, but maybe they didn't have time to clean up their own.
We don't have that.
So how come we're not
That's right.
gonna make
Did he hand it out?
the station itself look
I
like
did that
this
in the email, just
up there?
Oh,
Put a
that's
flat
the one.
roof over the
Yeah.
apparatus space. We didn't think about it, we never discussed it, but we could. So Matt has a question, why didn't we make the apparatus space at Sanborn Road have a flat roof like we did on Park Street?
Is it
We
bigger?
didn't even look at the roof
Is
on
it the
Sanborn
same
Road
size?
yet, right?
It's substantially smaller, right?
We didn't even, we didn't.
3 bays wide, 3 bays wide.
This is.
I don't think it's that substantially small.
They have a flat roof, I'm looking at the wrong. This is the email you just sent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's two Sanborn Road emails there, one with a 3/12 pitch and one with a 6/12 pitch.
It says 312.
And then you should get another email with
It's a
the
3 pitch.
Oh, there's two emails?
The
Okay,
six
that's why
on
I'm not
12?
seeing.
There,
No,
no,
it's
there's
one email.
one email, 3 attachments. So there's another attachment,
Okay, so I'm just looking
Well, I
at
guess
the
I
same-
just,
6 on 12.
they're using
I'm
to see the
just looking
fire
at
station
park
that
here then, right? What's
Right.
this?
the bays are always,
That's Main Street.
you don't see
You've
many
gotta
peaked
open the
roofs
other
over
attachment. Go back to the
the apparatus floor, I guess.
I mean, you know, look at the
Probably because they just build them so high on the inside, you go across with
tops. Oh,
those.
okay.
Most of my
So
roofs,
there's
it's the
two.
flat ones. They've got like those, steel trusses.
Parallel cord
Bar
trusses.
doors.
So at Sanborn Road, we have the same issue with the opposing pitches. One of them running into the other.
Yeah.
Kevin? That's with the 6 pitch at Sanborn Road.
Yeah, but it's not running into the,
So you saying this facade should be flat?
I think the apparatus bay should look just like that.
It's heading the other direction, isn't it?
Yes, the ridge over the apparatus bay runs like from Sanborn Road towards the mall, and the ridge over the living office space is teed into it like that.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
This is here, the phone, but breathing,
Yeah.
thing.
So,
This is Sanborn Road, this is a street, right?
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah.
yeah,
And the peak
They
runs
just have-
towards the mall, and the office space peak runs
parts the PP and
up
Sanborn Road.
Sanborn Road. So this, the apparatus bay here is deeper than it is wide, at least it appears to be.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, they'll be wrong on that one.
I think it says it's 86.
Yes.
86.
Just a little bit. The bottom picture.
So the facade of a flat roof should be the longest dimension, shouldn't it? I'm trying to look at it and say, that's nice.
Well, nobody's gonna see that side of the building, right? Well, you will coming down the road.
This was the
Yeah.
email that the chief got today with the attachments, so that's Sanborn.
If it were turned the other way, if the dimensions were the other way, I'd say it
With the
would look more like Park Street. It would look with a flat roof.
It's an apparatus bay, yep, that way, okay.
So you see what happens there. Then it comes into that. Now this is,
I'm still trying to download it.
So this is the other one.
Is there no connection between this flat roof and that roof? It's like, you get a gap,
Yeah.
just one door.
everything runs down this roof and collects that. That must be
That's
this.
so true.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
don't think they finished the drawing.
They let go of their cursor too quickly.
Well, I think they were probably just drawing in the trusses.
More clear there, but it still looks like this is not attached. It's just.
Yeah, it should be attached, I would think.
Yeah, if
It's
you look
gotta
at
be
the
in-
aerial,
Then
Just doesn't look like it in the picture, that's all.
it's probably, it's not
I'm
in the
sure.
picture,
it's
but
not in the picture, but
in
it
reality,
would,
it would
you
be.
wouldn't
It would
do,
have
you
to
wouldn't
be.
have to,
You would never do that.
You would never do it like that because,
You would.
especially that being the north side, imagine the stuff that would stay there and never melt.
if you want leakage, that's what it's going
That's
to
where it
be.
would be.
But they, I'm sure they're gonna connect that again.
So Matt, your idea is that
Make a flat roof,
they should look
similar.
as much as possible like one another?
That's what I think.
From the street?
Yeah.
I wonder if there was any thought on their part as to make, I got the right one, that goes to the police station. Make the,
Yeah, you see.
Like,
the
I think
comparison
that's-
between the police station and the
Did
fire
that comment
station.
come up at
They
one point?
put, I don't
I think it-
remember,
I think
I'm
it
wondering,
did.
I mean, if it were two houses, it wouldn't even be entered, that thought would never enter mind, but
Well, yeah,
they're two
it's-
municipal buildings.
It still doesn't look the same, because their roof slope is running this way,
Well,
ours is running the opposite.
But they're all
For the
gable
garage.
roofs. There's nothing
No
that
flat
even
roof.
pretends to be
But
flat.
they're a police station and we're a fire station.
That's right.
They don't have a big apparatus space. So I wouldn't have an issue if they wanted to make a flat roof there.
And did somebody say it's cheaper to build a flat roof?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I can't wrap my head around it.
I don't know, is it?
I think it is.
Particularly
Build
if
a
you're
flat
talking,
roof for a gable.
particularly if you're talking clear span.
It's less materials.
But you'd have to design drainage into a flat roof.
Yes.
Yeah, most flat roofs aren't truly flat.
Right.
They got some wing to them.
And it's the EPD on, that
Yeah.
you replace every,
That's-
what, 20
Like
something?
20 years.
So I guess it's the same as asphalt, for,
Yeah.
or you resurface it, you don't
EPDM,
they don't put the ballast like they used to.
no, it's all adhered
Here,
now.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
glued. It's
Yeah.
a glued roof, which is, I guess, better than tar and gravel. And tar paper underneath.
Tar and gravel is fun.
Yeah, but it's hurt our sales down there. We got mountains around Stone. Landscapers can only do so much.
I think it's a valid point if you want your stuff to look like. And you buy special paints for all vehicles the same color. Maybe worth considering. I never picked that
I mean,
up.
why wouldn't you make them both look
I
very
would-
similar? I mean,
Like branding.
Yeah, barring any unknown, engineering or, cost factor, I would make.
Because it's gotta be the same height, similar height as Park Street, right?
Gotta be the same,
Gotta be the
isn't
same,
it?
right?
The apparatus base is the same height in both corners?
You use the same brick, you use that same trim
I would think
line
we'd
through
want-
it.
I would think
Two
we
for
want
one.
to, yeah.
The apparatus base is the same height in both
Yes.
buildings?
Yes.
So what we're discussing is keeping the pitch over the living area and the flat roof on the apparatus, is that correct?
That's what the discussion
That's
is.
what. I'm sorry, which what Matt was saying. I apologize.
I called him Paul a couple weeks ago. He took great offense to that.
not like either one of them.
Right, I guess, I like the two pitch roofs or a flat roof. I think we should certainly ask them about a flat roof.
So they
So-
have a huge peak, they're up high too on the living
And-
space.
That plan right there just reminds me like we just took Park Street, threw it up there, built off the side of it basically. And everybody says Park Street's a garage. Well, in my eyes, like you drive by Franklin Fire Station, and I keep using Franklin, but it's like, it's flat, you know, you can see.
It looks like a park.
You just drive by, why would you drive by? It's just like Bow Street, why would you go?
So on this,
He wants to see where the next
Kevin,
fire's gonna
right?
Which house is
Kevin
gonna
and
burn
Matt.
down next.
On this elevation right here, what you're talking about is,
Don't you love it?
I wish we had paper, I really do. If we were looking at this elevation right here, what you do is have it flat, you just chop off the eaves and the gable. Right, at that same height.
If that gable roof would, the gable roof would go away and become a flat roof.
And then my question is, why is that other roof taller than that?
That's the different pit ones. There's two
It's a
plans.
pitch.
One's a different
Oh, okay,
higher
different
pitch than
pitch.
the other.
I can see the words with no pictures on my phone.
Did you open up the attachments?
You know, how you get that little hourglass or little circle?
Yep.
I'm still circling.
It's because you're either on LTE, did you get Verizon?
It is amazing when you look at the two different views, the 312 pitch versus the 612.
Somebody else.
The 612 is a much more attractive looking building, in my opinion, than the low slope.
Here's what I was told the other day. I don't care about appearance. I care about functionality and cost.
That's what, yeah,
So
From
what
who?
I
care about appearance.
my response to that is that
Look at me. Why you look like I care about appearance? Come
No,
on.
you don't care
You
about
should have seen before I went to the
functionality.
barber shop.
this is functionality
Absolutely.
right here.
Because it's your operations.
This is trying to this is trying to make it look as good as possible while it still meets that functionality.
And to me, that's way more important than that.
But this
Right.
functionality we've already
Right.
proven. So now, there's no reason to make it look bad, because we don't know, we're not accurate architects.
Is there a happy medium?
So I think what I was saying was the slope roof at Sanborn Road, doing over both sections, I'm okay with that. But I'm not opposed to having the garage space be flat roof. I guess to me it would come down to, is there a huge cost difference? Because if there's a huge cost difference, I'd probably sway towards the lower cost.
So for tomorrow morning's meeting, we're gonna maintain a 6 pitch on the living space and ask for a flat roof. Right, we don't even wanna consider the 3 pitch.
I don't think on Sanborn Road.
You are talking Sanborn, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Are we all in agreement?
Well, that brings the roof above the garage space. The
Right.
peak of the roof is
Right.
higher than the garage space, so it won't look like Park Street. I'm okay with that.
I see the
just
two
wanna make
buildings
sure
as
this
very
is the
different. I
right-
wonder, what would Sanborn Road look like with a top?
All flat roof. Yeah.
I think that,
Oh, because it's a square box
it's,
without a courtyard. Oh, good point.
and which way would it pitch? You got bays on both ends. No, there's not that bay
I've added that question because we've yet to hear a response for the cost difference on eliminating 2 of the doors at Sanborn Road.
Oh,
I thought we were only eliminating one door.
I thought you had recommended that we just keep one door.
keep one.
No,
Keep-
he recommended
keep two.
two.
Get rid of the third bay, so you can't drive through the third bay. I mean, somebody probably will make it a drive-through.
I would hope.
Oh, you're saying keep the bay but not the door.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 'Cause I thought
Three
we already
three
decided.
bay doors out front, 2 in the back.
Yeah. What's the cost per door?
Well, we set that question out to them and we haven't got the answer back.
Because we're making decisions again without information.
I missed that, so what was the reasoning behind that?
Saving money
Just money?
and potentially heating savings.
So on that flat roof on Park Street, they're draining the water through the building. That flat roof's not draining out the back of the building.
No,
All the water's draining
it's
through
coming
the
through somehow. Or they could be, we could actually build scuppers and they go off the scuppers and they catch it outside the building. Which is kind of better in a lot of ways because it won't freeze inside the building in a pipe. Not that it should, but it eliminates the possibility.
We're gonna recycle it so they can shower.
There you go.
Water the flowers,
Yeah.
put a cistern underneath and we can use it to water the lawn.
Wash the truck.
Yeah, well, our building has both. It'll have all the roof water drains in the building.
But you have a
But-
lot of interior columns, right? They come
Yeah.
down, it comes
In
down at
walls
those
and
columns.
whatever. And then, but you do have a couple up there that drain right out the side of the building. They come into the building and then drain out the side, so that if water is coming out there, you know you got a problem up on the roof because the regular drains aren't draining.
They have to have an emergency, they have to have a scupper anyway, because you never want if your system's plugged, there has to be an outlet so your roof doesn't flood.
Yes, so
Yeah, flat roof
the
contract.
center fire station, my last organization, had that issue where the drainage actually went to the center of different sections of the roof, and they had these domed drains that's supposed to catch all the water. We had a lot of trees around there too, so there was a lot of leaves built up, and it stopped. We didn't, for some reason, we didn't go up there in the fall and clean out all the stuff, and at one point, sometime in, I think it was late February or March, it all caved in.
The roof came.
Yes. Not in one section of the building.
Yeah, but they, and how old of a building was it?
It was built in 1967. It was probably,
Pre the requirement.
it happened probably in the early 2000s.
Let's talk our building.
Yep.
I don't care
Sorry.
about
Yeah.
other people's collapses. Is there anything else we need to discuss with the architect tomorrow morning?
I'm going to read what I have so far. Number one, design the roof at Park Street as you think best, keeping in mind the roof drainage onto the area near the Bay 1 door. Remove the permeable parking lot. The third thing is, what about a flat roof over the apparatus bay similar to Park Street on Sanborn Road with a 6-pitch over the living office area? What's the cost difference? Is there an advantage one way or the other?
And then the cost difference of removing one door at Sanborn Road.
Would it be reasonable to think that they'll be able to answer that flat roof, pitched roof question? You just said, what's
I mean,
the
if they do
cost
this all the
difference?
time, I would
Right.
think they have a square foot cost for one and a square foot cost
Right,
for
which
the
is
other.
cheaper, and someone said, oh, this one's cheaper,
Right,
even without designing it for your building. You would think, I don't know.
I would think so, because they have it may not be real accurate, but they should be able to say yes, one cost one.
You might wanna start the question in that manner.
I
The reason
can't-
we're asking is because,
Right, I would think. I can't, because I'm a bridge engineer, not a building engineer, just so you know, that's my, I retired as a
I'm a car
bridge
salesman.
engineer.
The diesel engine costs more than the gas.
That's right.
Every application. Next
Okay.
question.
The next thing that is gonna be on the agenda for tomorrow morning's meeting is the public outreach. And what considerations, what concerns, what aspects do we want to focus on? So I'll take suggestions.
I thought in the last meeting or a couple meetings ago, we already sort of talked about this a little bit from the standpoint we came up with, how do they see public outreach? What does that look like for them?
Okay,
And
that,
did you
that,
get that answer?
yeah, that question has been answered. So they're going to, honestly, I guess I don't have a good answer for that yet. What they want from us is an outline of what we want included in this was something they just threw out and said, this is what we had planned previously for one or the other station. So,
If you remember way back when we were gonna jump into this, we had an outline. I've lost everything on my computer because, do you remember? And I think you would have. We had an outline of what our presentation should have in it. Do you remember that?
no, but I'll look.
So if we tell them on the roof line, do what you do, I would sooner tell them, do what you do on public outreach, because they've done it. How do you get buy-in? We need buy-in more than anything else.
Exactly. But they're gonna have to explain prices on that, so that would be
You
a
don't
good
get-
suggestion.
You
know,
don't
can
have
they
to buy
do it?
in.
You know, like show how costs. When you talk about materials, because I'll tell you, like, the first thing, and when I went over there for National Night Out, I was just like, good God Almighty, I'm looking at this like extremely flat, clear piece of property, and I'm still like trying to figure out how we got like $1.2 million, $1.3 million for dirt work. I'm just totally befooled on that. So, you know, and you guys know as well as I do, when we get to district meeting, people are gonna be looking like, what the hell? And then you're like, oh, $38,000 for a 4x4 roof. You're like, you know, I know it's bigger than 4x4, but, you know, it's those kind of questions, and it's those kind of questions that eat our lunch every time we get before the district meeting.
So,
If you build on an unsuitable or unstable site, your building's going to be unsuitable and
Mhm.
unstable.
I
You pave a
think,
turd, you still gotta tear it, paved it, that's all you did. You can't do that, cause it's gonna crumble.
Look at Molten Borough.
They having issues?
Oh, apparatus,
I
they
think-
either raised 8 inches or went down. You step down or step out from,
Cause they,
From the Frosties.
yeah,
that's wet.
I
Wet.
think as far as the dirt work, it was 900, this is a couple of years ago, 900 Park Street and like 560 or something at Sanborn Road. So I'm thinking maybe a 1.5 was combined between the two of them. But it's a point well taken.
Yeah.
All of that will need to get broken down. This is why I'm throwing it out there, because we have inspection reports of Center Street. And I think at the end of the day, nobody is gonna tell you that Center Street is all right. What if somebody says, what's wrong with Park Street? Why do we need to change it? That's the type of feedback that I'm looking for. So it's gonna be my intention tomorrow to make sure that they focus some of the presentation on the deficiencies of both of the buildings. Does everyone agree with that?
Sure, they have, yes, I agree. They have the engineering review of Park Street with all the deficiencies listed in it.
I used to have that, I cannot find it.
I think it's even on our website somewhere.
Yeah, because we put it up when they were bidding, or giving our, responding to their.
I'd like to talk with you sometime.
okay, I'll make a point for you.
And that does fall into the cost too. I mean, so, and my point with it is, I'm not complaining about that, but my point with that is they really need to be able to articulate to the populace why we're going from like in 2000, what was that, 16?
Yeah.
Articulate, you know, when some of these people, they remember, you know, and it's kind of like, I'd like to go exactly being the answer when you say, well, how did we go from a $5 million, or almost $5 million building back in 2016 to almost a $20 million tube? You know, that's going to get asked.
Well, and how
you know,
did we, before that, come up with a $450,000 addition for living quarters on Park Street? Why can't you do that now?
Time.
And time changes, and I get all
I
that.
guess you relate.
Times change, your needs change.
Exactly.
the-
But I mean, I would like to say
growth of
exactly
the
because it's
communities
like-
No
change.
question.
If you
All those
voted for it
things.
back
Question and
then,
all
you
that
wouldn't have
stuff.
this now, but.
Right,
But these,
exactly.
like you say, will be the questions that will get asked.
Yeah. Someone's gonna ask, why, this is New England, why are you putting a flat roof on that? That's gonna be one of the
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to have a good answer for that.
Well, they just did it over the school.
But I worked at a 35,000 square foot building that was all flat. Yeah, there was a pipe that came down that said, you know, rainwater, but it worked.
It's because of size.
Yeah.
Oh,
Try to do a
absolutely.
pitch.
That
I
is
guess
a
you-
big,
you-
big
They
building,
can
yeah.
explain that.
Well, we can show them what the hell a 612 looks like on that building.
Yeah.
Good
I'm gonna
God,
scoot out. Thank you all very much for
Might
your
look
hard
like
work.
Egypt.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for everything.
Pyramids
I
up there.
appreciate it.
We had a busy weekend.
Yes, yeah,
But very proud of my call people.
they did great.
Stepped up and they took care of it.
They did.
And I commented on all of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other,
Here you go again.
are
You
there
make
any
that a
other?
flat too?
So what do you have on your list so far?
My list is do what you do and deficiencies of Park Street. And that note is more to myself because I could not find that report in my notebook.
I'll, when I go back to the office, either tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll email that out to the committee again.
It's a report by Team Engineering, Building Inspection and Design.
I'd like to hear their answer to Kevin's question is, how do you get buy-in? From their experience, how do you get buy-in? I mean,
We've shown we don't know how to get it.
right,
And what I don't wanna
It's
do
on
is
them. We're
point,
paying them, it's on them.
we don't wanna point them in the wrong direction. And see, we've
don't
already done
wanna-
this with all of this, because we're playing architect.
but
We
but
don't
I
want
think,
playing.
you know, I think they asked, and so my list while I was sitting here listening is, you had that buy-in question, which I really like. What does that mean? Because, as Kevin said, we've obviously demonstrated we don't know how to do it right. So what does that mean to them? And they do municipal buildings. The cost justification, being able to be able to easily explain, you know, the flat roof thing and why you would do that, and why site work is so much more expensive than if I'm building a 24 by 38 house. The whole discussion about the deficiencies in the current building, that goes back to that whole, you know, the firefighters show up, they're well trained, they've got all the equipment. I don't see, the fire station doesn't come to my house. Why do we need 2 stations? Why are you proposing 2? Call volume growth and that kind of stuff. The cost versus 10 years ago. Geez, we could have done this for 4.9 million, we could have done it for 7.2 million.
And how do you make that a positive by saying, don't say, look here, dummies, you could have had it for them. We can't say that, right?
blew it.
You have to be able to say, it's like, look at, I mean, we could have had this a lot cheaper a long time ago, but we didn't.
Did,
So
and now
where,
it's-
how many more years do we want to wait, and how much more expensive is it going to get, really? But
You're smarter than you were at the last meeting.
yeah, but you probably can't say it like that, right? And you know, another big thing, you can come up with the best plan in the world for your public outreach, but a big question that I have is, how are they going to reach the populace? Well, you know what? We've already proved. We did a survey, and we reached what percentage of the population?
11%, 12%.
So, and there's the problem with
Well,
the buy-in, because if
We
we can't get
reached way more than that, 11 or 12%.
what responded, but that's what I'm
Responded.
saying. But that's like,
It's 90,
how do we articulate
89,
Uh,
trash.
all this stuff that we want to answer? If nobody's willing to listen, then we're stuck. We're stuck at the start line. We're just never going to get up. So I mean, and like, I'm sure for a building, we'll probably see more than. I mean, what was this last district meeting? Was what, 40 people? I guess 48 people. 48 people in the district showed up at a district meeting. I'm thinking, yeah, if they know that a building is up, a lot of people. But we have to, you know. But what population will show up? The ones that are already coming with their mind made up before they listen to a damn thing. So, which goes back to outreach. How do we educate these folks before they get to the damn district meeting? And that's us like, so how do we reach people beyond the district meeting to educate them to show up with an educated vote at the, or at least an informed vote. I don't want to say educate. Some people might take offense to that. It's not what I mean, but we'll say informed vote. And that's a huge thing.
It's a hard sell anyway. But
It will take a lot less than the 48 people that showed up to swing it one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because the vote will be so close. Someone who controls 25, 30 votes want to be your friend.
Oh, absolutely. Just, how do you
You
motivate
need
those
to
people that
own
don't
that
show up?
person. You need to own their votes. Because if you don't, and how many times have we seen it? 2, 3, 4, 5 votes, 6 votes. One vote.
So, let me ask another question, and this is directed towards you, Kevin. When we were voting on floor plans, we voted on the Sanborn Road plan, and you dissented, and your reason for dissenting was you said, I can't vote on Sanborn Road until I see everything, we don't have a plan until we have a whole plan.
Oh, dear.
So with that being said now, do we have your affirmation on Sanborn Road, or are you gonna defer until we answer more questions?
Even as close as we think we are, there are things with the whole thing, individual and put together, that I think is a hard sell for me. Particularly, well, Sanborn Road, not so much with those damn doors in the back, but we, at Park Street, I think I would probably the rest of them said, we have what we have. We own it, there's no cost. It functions, doesn't meet today's standards. But it does not have to. Doesn't have to.
But if we move it, but the whole thing changed when
When you
we
made it the
decided
headquarters, that's when it changed.
It did, but we still have, whatever it is, X, Y, Z number of feet of
4,800 square feet. That's it.
So if you have, I'm gonna say 5,000 because it throws me. If you own 5,000 square feet of something that's functioning, and the only reason you wanna crush it and build another 5,000 square feet is so it's all the same. How do you do that?
No, it has structural deficiencies.
It does. But, so you go to that meeting and you say it doesn't meet code. Well, 2/3 of the people's houses at that meeting don't meet code today either.
In a major snowstorm, the way I would explain it, in a major snowstorm or weather event, your fire apparatus, the roof can come down on it, and then they cannot respond to everybody else's emergency in that weather event. And that's because snow loads have
That's
changed.
fact.
Snow loads have changed. So that's the way to.
And that building has
been there
It's
for
been
a long
persevered
time.
40 years.
through, I know of 4 back-to-back 30-inch storms. And guess what happened? The fire alarm went off, they went and got the trucks out. It didn't, nothing happened to it. I mean, it's not, I don't know what the cost of that 5,000 square foot apparatus is. It's the cheapest square feet in the whole building. We've talked about that many, many times. But, and I had thoughts about, and people say, well, it's there, we own it, we own it. There's no physical harm to that building standing right where it is. No. The shear load is what it is and what it's been since the day it was built.
Well, you could say the same thing about the middle school gym. Remember that fiasco? And we had to spend out all this money for the clips because it was an existing building, and then until we got the 2 feet of snow and it started sagging, right, over the kids' heads.
It did sag.
It did sag a lot. So,
We don't have that issue.
no, yeah.
We've never had it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's got it. That you asked what I thought. That's what I think.
Well,
Okay.
So-
So it's a hard.
well, wait a sec, that's not what I asked.
Okay.
What I asked was pertaining to Sanborn Road. Because we voted on the floor plan of Sanborn Road, and you dissented based upon the aspect that we did not have an entire plan.
Right.
Do we
Are you
still?
asking me if I like Sanborn Road?
Yes.
No, I don't like Sanborn.
So,
6 bays, 6 doors.
okay, so if it were 6 bays, 5 doors, 6 bays, 4 doors, 6 bays, 3 doors, what would it take to get your affirmative vote on the floor plan? It's got nothing to do with you personally.
No, I get it.
For me,
I can
it's
take it.
about it's about unanimity.
You
So
want You do not, I get it, you do not want dissent in your committee. And I've made a statement before, I do not want to be the guy who, at that night, sits in the audience and sits at the table with the people I've worked with since 2019.
Seems like 19.
I don't wanna do that, but you know I'm capable. And you know I'm willing if it doesn't sink. And I don't mean sink in a bad
So-
way, S-Y-N-C.
That's what my question is.
So there are things, like I said, there are things in both plans, but, you know, I've done a lot of things in projects no one knows or cares about. But when you have multiple personalities, multiple opinions, you gotta do everything you can do to bring them to the center. Am I gonna give some of my thoughts for the betterment of the project? You're damn right I will. But when you spend money that I can't wrap my head around, it's very difficult. And sometimes I've been so close to saying, you know what? I've had a discussion with Tim. That's not what I want. Because there's not a person alive that wants to continue Summer Street. Well, that's not true, because there are people who want it, who if it's okay, it's fine. I mean, so, it's tough, we've got to, and I honestly do not know how to say, look, if you do this, because I don't wanna do that, well, if you do this, I'll be your guy. If you don't do that, I'm not your guy. That's not how you should be. You should,
Right, but you gotta,
what's the word,
right. But if you,
cohesion?
but you gotta look at it like a circle too. You can break it down and you can pull out the hermeneutic model of ethical decision making, which takes in everybody. Okay, and sometimes, you know, and we're all persons. We're all a piece of that pie that fits in there. So, and with each part of that pie comes opinion and perspective. And so, to your point, yes, you gotta get to the middle, but you can't stand out there alone on the peripherals of it, because sometimes, you know, that give and take, it works throughout the entire circle in each of those pies. And that's another point as far as trying to articulate to the public to make those decisions. You know, they gotta look at all the different pieces. Most people, it's right here, we're egocentric. And egocentrism is like strong as hell in this country right now, in community. But we gotta get people to look beyond the blindness of their own piece of the pie to understand everybody else's, all the stakeholders that are in the pie. And that's been our biggest problem, because, you know, a lot of people, they're stuck on that hill with the price. And then, I don't care if a firefighter gets cancer, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. You know, they're on the hill, I just look at price. What the hell do we need a decon room for? Oh, codes. And yes, in this community, ASHCO code. I grew up, my old man could care less about permits and codes. You know, it was just like, but that was his generation. So, we gotta combat that. But I would say that to you too, maybe broaden, take them blinders.
You just gotta show me the benefit.
Right.
You know, I've, in life and in official capacities, I have signed off on so much shit I don't believe in personally, because it's the betterment, and I can see the betterment. Because trust me, all our budgets, if it were my budget, would be a lot less than that. And that's another, you've got to think part of your pie is not only the, whatever the number is in the bond, it's the other side of that, which is just what? The budget. There's more people, there's more equipment, and how that
Absolutely.
affects people who, you know, people are not all set. Some people in our towns are all set. Okay, the tax rate's gonna go to $40 a thousand, I can stay.
I can.
So, you know, you have to think about, we're gonna go from, what are we, just around a little over 4 million?
Budget-wise? Yeah.
So, anyone who doesn't think that's gonna go to 10 million, with this added and all the extras, I think they're going to be blinders, not me.
I can see Park Street being easier to sell than Sanborn, and the reason being that the thought, why do you need the two stations? Well, we know why we need two stations, but they're gonna say, you don't have enough staff to fill that station. And that's gonna come up, right? And that's,
It has to.
right.
So we
So
have
those
And
are
there's
all
where,
kinds
and the
of-
problem being
right.
a district as
Right.
opposed to the town.
And that's not something that Lorero can sell
no,
somehow.
no.
And I'll admit, it's a hard sell for me, it's like, wow, that's,
But we
I
also
get
bring
it,
up
we're
like a
looking
growth
for the
projection
future, we're
for
looking
East,
for the future.
East Hilton. I mean, that is a fact. I mean, it's growing like crazy. You know what? And there's a lot. I mean, and I get it. A lot of people are worried about, you know, the more that Tilton grows, the bigger the school's gonna, you know, the population, which shouldn't be that big a problem because we had to get rid of a building because we didn't have any population according to the school board.
But the
So I
budget
mean,
didn't go down.
yeah, the budget never went down. Right, but the point being, you know, so they're gonna argue for more, you know, so, well, I don't know. But anyway, but it's all together. I mean, it's a community thing. You know, you've got your towns, you've got your fire district, and you've got your school district. So it's like, yeah, we all have to pay into that. And it all goes together. But with the growth is happening. Try to make people understand that growth is also, like I brought up at the last meeting, that place alone, I just saw, I think it was the first wedding they might have had out there.
There was
So
this
they're in,
weekend.
yep, they're in business, and yep, that is going to be that's going to be a heavy contributor, I do believe, to the tax. Well, at least the valuation of the town of Tilton in their
It's
tax.
gonna be 6% of the valuation of the town.
Yeah. So, you know, with that growth, you know, hopefully these guys will make people understand too, with that growth does come revenue. Yeah, we have, it does, we have the cost, but, I mean, what do you want in the town? You want the town to be barren and you know, not necessarily, you gotta have something for people to stay here. And, you know, business is business, so, you know, the more the town grows, hopefully,
The town of Tilton especially is in a very desirable place. I liken it to Gettysburg. We studied the Battle of Gettysburg. You know why the battle happened at Gettysburg? All roads lead to Gettysburg, if you look at the way the road structure is. Tilton is kind of the same way.
Mm.
All roads, we got, how many, 132, 140, Route 3, Route 11, Route 93, all merge right at that intersection. And that's what makes Tilton a great place to develop and have a business, because people come through here. Look what it's like trying to go towards, you know, Laconia or Belmont on a Friday afternoon, or even now it's Thursday afternoon, because they come up early, because they want to beat the traffic on Friday. You know,
that's a nightmare.
it's, so the development's coming. They've already approved, I don't know how many additional 400 living spaces in the town that's going to happen within the next couple of years.
So that's the sales, that's
Right.
what, not a pitch, I'm
And
just saying,
and
that's
all that's going
reality
to
that
do
needs
is
to
bring more
come out.
development. So the land values, especially on Route 3, Laconia Road, are going to go up. You see people starting to try and sell it all now because it's worth more than it was 10 years ago.
Okay, can I ask you to think about my question and we'll discuss it next time?
Did I not answer you?
I heard of
Apparently not to
We-
satisfaction.
You never talked about Sanborn Road. What?
It's a yea or nay answer, right?
Oh,
Or is it?
I am not a fan of the doors in the back of the building.
So if all three of the back doors were eliminated, you'd be a fan?
You'd be a lot closer to owning me than you are right now.
What else would it take?
I guess I would have to, to duplicate, and I get it. I understand what the people who do this job are saying. I get it. Duplication. You have, I don't even know what it's called. No, I get that very.
Kitchen,
Fitness, that's,
Fitness.
that's what
Fitness, fitness.
in both places. I'm sorry. I see in other places that have multiple stations, and I'll pick on Laconia because I like to. Weir's Beach, station is, that's where you live, right?
Yep.
How often is that station at low staff or no staff because they're at Central? Engine 5 belongs in Wears Beach, doesn't it?
Yes.
I have seen that truck more damn times at Central Station than I've seen it in the Weirs.
So the reason being is that the headquarters, they go out, and if they're gonna be out for an extended period of time, since that's where most of the calls are, they have coverage. They bring the Weirs station to the headquarters because it's probably gonna go out from the headquarters again.
And then
Rather
Wears
than
Beach, your house
Wears
is
Beach.
unprotected, unless we come from Meredith or Guilford, says, hey, I'm over here, let's go.
Guilford, yeah, Guilford and Meredith would be responding.
So it's a wellness space, anything else?
Well, just because I think it's probably a reasonable idea, I'll give you the decon, I get it. But you're duplicating spaces, it's all square footage, everything is per square foot. But now, I'll tell you this also, okay, so what? You pull a fitness out, what do you do with that space? It's built there, and you can't shrink
Exactly.
that cube. What do you do, cut 6 feet off here? No. So that's the whole nut you gotta crack is, okay, so we do that. Yeah, okay, now we don't have the equipment, we still got the space, we still got the roof, we still got the costs. So that's what I'm saying, I get it, and we'll come to the middle, but it's just, it's
Well,
got to make sense.
that's what I'm trying to do, is find out what that common ground is.
Duplication, I'm not a fan of duplication. I also consider that I heard the presumptive, and it's presumptive to me because I'm not in a position to make anything happen. The presumptive successor chief, one building, please. I want all my people together.
Well, that's not
Until
what,
we can't.
that's not what he said publicly. He signed on
He
to
signed
that
off on it,
recommendation.
but he sat, I think it was in that chair. Am I wrong? Did he say, I want one building?
But you know what? And that's
What
that's
he
the big
said,
thing. That
if he could have his druthers, it would only be one building, but it wouldn't be in either of the locations that we're deciding. It would have been somewhere here on Laconia Road, kind of like where we had the Tilton School, because that gives you a better response. We can't be on Laconia Road or East Main Street because we can't buy land there. So this is the next option, is that we have to cover our fire district from these two locations. And in the long run, it's actually better because of the growth that we're having.
That goes back to the piece of the pie. Piece of the pie is the future. We gotta look at the future. I mean, I'm not building a building for a chief or, a person or a generation. I'd like to think that we're gonna build something that's gonna be here for a while. You know what? Because I can tell you, the guys who built Center Street had no idea about Kevin Waldron or Chief Sita. They didn't look at that stuff way back then. I mean, we gotta, lots happened in that 100 and how many goddamn years? 100 a lot of years. So I mean, that's my perspective. That's an additional perspective I have. So I'm not going to be hung up on one personality or one person's opinion or meaning.
I'll just, I know you've all seen it. That's his signature on the recommendation that we're
158 years.
But Deputy Robinson's on that too.
Yeah.
It is.
And he's the one that says, hey, slow down, back up, shrink.
That's not what he says.
But I think we've shrunk the best we could.
We,
We've looked at everything, other than just chopping the whole thing. So I think we've shrunk a lot of things.
To me, when you
to one.
when you have a problem, and this is kind of a problem, rather than just look at everything and some things you don't like, rather than just saying, I have found it helpful to take it and break it down. It's like a wiring harness with 27 wires in it. Wiring harness, something doesn't work. Well, okay, where's that wire come? Where's that wire? Solve the parts of the problem individually without getting hung up on something you just can't make sense of. And I can't make sense of the duplication. That's just one thing. But how the hell do you change that and have it? How do you change it and have that make sense?
So there's things in there that I would change personally and stuff like that, but when you look at the work of this committee, we're all working for the same goal, and that's where we're going.
We hope so.
And everybody here makes compromises to reach that one goal. Nobody's getting 100% of what they want here. And so I think that's what we're doing, and maybe this is even part of the selling point. We're all in different directions when we started, but we worked together for years now, and considering all the different things all the different priorities that we had for this project, we've come together, and this is what we think is best for the community for decades to come, generations to come. This is what we believe, because this is what we've worked for since 2019 and beyond that.
This isn't our first. This isn't our first run around.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, up until like this past year, I was ready to be the guy. I was ready to be that guy too. Sitting up there and be like, I will never ever vote yay on a headquarters in Northfield. That's how I used to feel. You know, I've evolved out of that. You know what? I mean, it's just. But I
personally don't get what makes the difference where it is.
I just, I mean, to a certain extent, I agree with you to a certain extent about Northfield. I think Northfield, we're going a little crazy, but I see that it works. I'm not going to vote no. I would never vote no against it at this point. I mean, but I was like, okay, I mean, if we can make that plan work, I'm copacetic with it now. But, you know, I was more for, you know what, like building the great big headquarters up there on Salmon Road, because I just see, you know what, people can tell me all they want to tell me, but when I look at what's happening in East Tilton and looking at call data and so forth, I mean, and then this past weekend, I was caught up. I was like, Jesus, I thought the world was on fire. I guess it was just Elkin Street. But then I freaking headed out. I'm heading to Laconia, and next thing I know, I got an engine coming down on me like crazy at exit 20, and they blew by me. I don't know what the hell was going on. It looked like you're all having ice cream up at Winnisquam Market when I got up there, but no, I'm not. That's not a slam on the fire department. I'm just saying it didn't seem like there was anything going on. There was a lot of conversation, but you don't know until you get there. I don't know what the call was, whatever it was. But the point is, they responded. They had to respond to the call, and I heard that and saw that a lot. We could see Elkin Street was the other way, but those fire engines, those engines and ambulances rail up Route 3 towards Laconia a lot.
And the call data says.
Yeah, so that was my whole thing with that. But like, I won't say his name, but like you said, the chief, you know what? The presumptive chief, maybe. One station down there, yeah, okay. I mean, it's just not gonna work. We don't have the real. You know what? If we could say, let's buy this property for $10 million, or if we could buy Lowe's out and shut them down and revamp it into a fire station, we'd be golden. You know, I mean, you know, but that ain't gonna happen. You know what? It's just not gonna happen. So we have to do with what we've got. We have to deal with what we've got.
The upside to everything being built over there is it's being built to the here and the now. Nothing over here is built to the here and now. You know, I mean, it's the fire is here. It ain't up there so much. It's here. And I don't know, is that why it makes a difference where headquarters is? It don't make the difference between what we call headquarters.
It doesn't. Headquarters is where administration is.
Right.
That's all.
I'm just thinking like
why do we
land
care where
development.
that is? I mean,
Land development. That's it for me.
that could be in a barn somewhere. And your nuts and bolts are where they need to be.
Well,
I get the cohesion, I understand that.
We're right, but to that point where I want all my, you're never, in the future, if we grow, they'll never all be in one location, ever. If it grows. Personnel grows, what we have right now, I get it, I understand where he's coming from. I totally agree with it, totally agree with it. But you know what, in the future, if we do, like you said, we're gonna have more people, it's going to happen. I mean, maybe not now, maybe not in 10 years, but it's going to
I
happen.
mean, but you gotta, in your plural, you've got to think about that and that impact on certain people, certain groups of people.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know who can stay and who can go. I don't know who, when they get their tax bill after that increase, the school increase, and the town, oh,
But, well, a lot of it's businesses in East Hilton, it's not just residents. The business, you know, so we say, oh, my house, my taxes are gonna go up. They did this last valuation. Businesses kind of, I think they stayed or went down, and the residential really took at least in Tilton it did.
it did.
Tilton took a beating with that. Me personally, I didn't. I'm just like, value rented, whatever. But it was, I understand what you're saying. It was people who lived in certain types of residences that they saw a huge, you know, what used to be like motel rooms, they call them condos, they're the ones who really got hammered. I mean, these people got hammered high. So that's unfortunate for that, you know. But, so I had to look like, what the hell are they complaining about? Taxes didn't really go up. I'm like, oh, my taxes didn't really go up that much. And then I saw, I was like, oof. You know, so.
Okay, so you got something to think about, we got something to think about. I want to get your buy-in on Sanborn Road before we present this to the public. So, whatever we gotta do. Well, we can't go
Well,
back to the drawing board,
no,
but
you
No.
can't. So you're beyond that. So, and honestly, I think the bottom line is, it don't make a shit's bit of difference, what I think.
it does with respect to the unanimity of this board, this committee. That's,
Yeah, but not just that, like you said, if you don't agree, Kevin, because I've seen you before, if you don't agree, and you're talking about that 48-person block, you know as well as I know, you have a 48-person block over there in Northfield that you can influence. So, and that's to Paul's point. If you don't have buy-in, you know, that's what I guess. So Paul wants to know, like, what's it going to take for buy-in, or are you just absolutely? And I'm not trying to single you out here.
No,
because
that's right.
he's asking the question because again, I mean, I'd like to think we're all going to go there in a unified front, but we don't want. I mean,
But I just add my 2 cents in, but I also think, you know, we sit and go, all right, we had the whole discussion about 4 bays versus 6 up there at Sanborn Road, and then, you know, we're gonna have 6 doors or 5 doors or 3 doors. At the end of the day, whatever that cost is for that door, and we take it out of the project, that's not gonna make or
That
break
don't
the
make or
voter.
break.
right.
So I'll tell you, the question I'm getting from people, and it's 80% Northfield, is what's in it for me? How is,
Safety. Bingo.
but that's not, no, because the problem we have is, and I saw it this weekend, this department kicked ass this past weekend.
They were amazing.
If you think they didn't, your
They
head's
were
somewhere
amazing.
else. We've got it, we own it, it's paid for. It ain't gonna get better because we spend $20 million in hiring more people, it's not.
Let me ask you something. You're a contractor. Do you still swing a frame and hammer, or do you use pneumatics?
Actually, I'm beyond pneumatics to cordless.
Oh.
Battery
Case in
operated.
point.
Even
Case
better.
in- case in
Although I
point.
did use a
Case in
pneumatic
point.
today.
Just because, you know what? And then I saw a thing on John Ciriello puts it on the it was what was his name? Boudreaux, that old Boudreaux guy, 1979. He was a World War I veteran.
Yes,
about
yes,
all his tools that he built. And you know what? He was a masterful man. But if you think anybody's going to operate building homes the way that man built homes, you're out of your mind. That's what we need to articulate to people. It's like, look, just because they're doing a great job doesn't mean You know,
Yeah, I don't know why
you
either.
know, if your guy's doing a great job with the 22 ounce
I was
frame,
out
you
of
get one.
state, so.
Doesn't mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You didn't see that, but I know what's going on.
I knew it was going on, and it's a damn good thing that can happen.
Paul,
We're
get
around.
control of your meeting.
Yeah.
You heard it. You were in the same room as I would when I was told, Paul, get a hold of your meeting. So that's what I'm doing.
So-
Our next meeting,
Well, I'm saying, I can't tell these people that you will be safer, because I don't believe it. I don't think they're gonna be.
They will be, because people of Northfield will have a faster response than they do now.
In some places,
In most places in Northfield.
you know, and, you know,
the
the
22nd.
other thing I get is why am I don't know what, fronting the cost of paying because Mr. DeGeese built that hotel up there and he's causing us costs. Why am I paying for that? I can't answer that question.
Of course you can.
No.
You can say he's gonna have 6% of the freaking tax base in Tilden. So he is paying for his own stuff and probably taking some of the burden off of the residents.
And Tilton is paying 67, it's almost
I think it's
70%.
70, right?
Of the fire.
Yeah,
of the
um,
budget.
Tilton, after the last evaluation, Tilton's up to 70% of the budget.
Yeah.
So that needs to be spelled out to people.
And,
Okay.
and,
I mean,
and
I have
as
the
such
same-
would be 70% of the bond too, of borrowing, 70% of the operations.
You say the 22nd?
Our next scheduled meeting is the 22nd. Do we want to schedule something between now and then?
Be a tough one for me. We'll see. September, October. Oh, I didn't message Kathy too to see when we're starting our budget stuff.
Well, that'll be brought up at the next commissioners meeting, that's on the agenda for the next commissioners meeting.
I have the week of the 15th, basically.
Okay.
22nd, you said?
The
Yeah, Monday.
22nd is our
Next
next
meeting.
meeting, scheduled already. You want to do the 29th? Mondays seem to work good for everyone.
You're saying like back to back, 22, 29?
And maybe we can postpone the teams meeting to the 23rd, Chief, that week, after our night of the 22nd.
They told me they prefer to have the teams meeting before we meet, so we have all the best answers for the meeting. But if you want to postpone it,
Well,
we can.
Might I suggest that if there is material that needs to be printed, that maybe we could leverage someone else in the department to do that? I know you didn't receive it, it was after 3 p.m., but I think tonight would have gone a lot better if we weren't looking at our phones. We were looking at,
I'm doing my calendar.
no, I mean earlier, when we were looking at
Trying to
plans.
find our plans on the phone.
Did you not show whether you're more amazed or we're more amazed?
He's not calling you out.
So,
We're all-
So, is the 29th the same?
well, I'm asking.
Oh, that's what we're proposing.
Our
The,
next one is the 22nd.
the 22nd is firm.
22nd, the 29th is fine. Yeah.
Well, there's nothing between now and the 22nd?
No, nothing's scheduled.
20 days of fishing.
20 days of what?
Fishing? I was going fishing today, the guy had kidneys.
Your meeting is the 9th, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the
Commissioners meeting on the 9th,
16th,
and
you're
the
with the
16th
Northfield.
Yeah.
Okay. Our other option is Thursday, the 11th. If you want to get one more meeting in.
September. Oh, wait a minute. What do I have? I don't know if it's
Lisa, you said you were out the week of
The
the 15th.
15th, I put too much. going on.
15th is no good for me.
Unfortunately, I know I don't have everything in here because everything is like.
And we're gonna have something that what will we focus on the next meeting if you're trying to get one in before the 27th?
Planning public outreach.
Outreach.
Public outreach
But
and
without
also.
hearing from them, it's kinda hard.
So does nobody else feel that public outreach is on the backs of the people who are paying to do it?
I'm sorry?
They do it. They-
I'd like to hear how they're gonna do it before we,
They want our guidance,
Oh,
they
they do
wanna
want it.
know what we
Oh, okay.
wanna get across.
okay, and you have somewhat of a list.
I have a list.
Wouldn't
So
they be
you've
telling
answered
us
that.
what we need to
They're
get,
not,
No.
to
they're
get
not
across, to get the buy-in?
No, they're gonna tell us about how to present, but they wanna know what issues to deal with, and that's what, you already have the answer to that.
I have the list.
I only have one question in public outreach. How do I get you to vote yes?
That's on the list of questions I'm gonna give them tomorrow, and I'll let you know what their response
Because
is.
that's what we need to know. That's the long and short of it.
So back
I
to
think
the,
or no, you're a no. How do you become a yes?
They may not have
so the question was, what do we have to talk about between now and the 29th? I guess if we meet on the
22nd?
Or the 22nd.
I'm sorry, the 22nd. The answer would be guidance on the public outreach, a continued back and forth conversation, and final roof lines and the such on the
Oh,
two
okay, they'll
buildings.
probably update their plans, yep. Okay. I am available on the
Is that okay, Kevin?
Yeah.
Matt?
Yep.
Chief? Tim? Okay, 5:30 p.m. here, if it's available.
Shit, I lost my camera.
Took too long.
We were so impressed.
Where the hell does this stuff go?
Okay. So our next meeting is Thursday, September 11th at 5:30.
I'll have Kathy decide where we're gonna be.
Okay.
Hopefully here, but if not, at worst, it's at Park Street, which
And
wasn't terrible.
the
As long as we
next
set the-
meeting after that is the 22nd, and we'll decide further at that meeting, or on the 11th.
So relative to schedules, as we get into the public outreach and whatever other meeting we have, we're coming into lovely budget season. So people's, I would think, some people's availability is gonna
Sure.
And then,
Yeah, mine's in.
Well, I don't anticipate there being only one representative from this committee or from the commissioners. I would expect that there would be multiple voices. Because I don't, if I'm a resident and I go to a meeting and I have questions, I don't want the same person answering the questions every time. I want diverse opinions, hopefully they're gonna get the same answer, but I don't,
that's,
Well,
that's
that's
important.
that's important.
Very
Well,
important.
then,
Because if,
yeah,
if
that's
a person
difficult.
says, what about this? And whoever's there says, well, the answer to that is this. And another meeting, that same question gets asked, whether it's by the same person, and I'll tell you, there will be people asking the same question multiple times.
That's
Looking
right,
for
I
a
almost think
discussion.
it's, I'm a terrible presenter, I almost feel like there should be one presenter, attend. I don't know.
well, but this is a good conversation to have then, so.
And maybe that's what we'll discuss. See, that's where I want their guidance. We're going off on our own. I want Lorero, how does Lorero's, what have they done with other towns?
What's been successful in other
Right,
towns?
rather
where they
than
have
us
multiple
saying, oh,
meetings?
we're gonna have one speaker, two speakers, one, or the whole committee there, not the whole committee there, what have they done? That's why I don't wanna, I'm not an expert.
You writing that down, Paul?
We're not the only townspeople who are concerned about their taxes, I'm sure.
Right,
This is New
I
Hampshire.
think most people are concerned about their taxes.
I
Yeah.
know.
So
Mine goes
my,
up
my
all
point
the
is
time.
that something, there's gotta be something that works somewhere, obviously, because there's, you know, every place that's had a fire station built, I'm sure it wasn't like, tax rate going up.
Well, it doesn't have to be.
Tell you what,
just
it wasn't there.
station.
That's a different animal.
Police station, library,
They spent
school.
$1,050 a square foot for that building.
Where?
There,
There it is.
$1,050 square foot.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, that's Dennis.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I wanna stay, damn it.
Have a good evening, all, and
Tell you
thank
what,
you.
my taxes,
Oh,
my
that
property
was
taxes,
hungry.
all
Ah,
my
hungry.
social